Hi, Diane from Wire Jewelry Creations here again. We're just going to step it up a little bit. In the last video we made a little earring. It's on red and black enamel, and we added an ear wire and a little wire dangle. In this video we're going to make some more wire dangles, but we're also going to do a custom ear wire. So for that, we need 20 gauge wire. This is the kind I use. It's Bead Smith wire. You can get that at your local bead store or online. It's 20 gauge. It's a nice wire. It doesn't tarnish too quickly. So anyway, what I like to do is match up my ear wire beads to the enamel piece. This is red and black, so I picked some little tiny black seed beads and a red Swarovski crystal. So the first thing you want to do is slide onto your wire the beads you're going to use, and you put them in the order of top down. When you have your finished ear wire like this, so here's the top, and going down, this one only has one bead, but we're going to do two. So I want my little tiny black bead to be at the top, so I'm going to put that on first. Then I'm going to add my red Swarovski crystal. So we're ready to do the ear wire now. What I'm going to do is start with my round nose pliers. Now I'm going to make a little loop on the end of this, and I want enough tail here to wrap around the beads that I'm adding. So I'm guessing I'm coming in maybe 1.5 inches. And it really doesn't matter the size of the loop you put on here. I go usually about midway up my round nose pliers. So I pinch here and I'm just rolling it back till I have a nice circle. I've gone one time around and you can see that. Now I'm going to come with the pliers through that hole, just pinch a little bit and bend that up so that the circle sits on there nice and round with the head pin going up at a 90-degree angle. Okay. So now I'm going to pinch that with some flat nose pliers. You can see how I'm grabbing the circle there with the flat nose pliers. And I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to go around once. Then I'm going to slide my beads down and I'm going to wrap that bead or the wire past the two beads, and I'm going to go around 2 times, once, twice. Okay, so you can see what I've got there. I've got a loop and the beads, and then my little tail is hanging off there. Now here's where I want to use my flush cutters. Okay, the flush cutters are the ones that have a flat side and they have a V side. Okay, so if you look at that, you can tell when you pinch that together, it's going to cut off the wire, but it's also going to force it in the direction that that V is. So if I cut this direction, the wire is going to spring up this way. You don't want that smacking you in the eye, okay? So you want to be careful. So I'm pinching down like, whoops, let's see if I can get that on camera. I'm pinching like that, but I'm also putting my finger above here so it's not going to fly up in my face. And I just snip that off. That way it'll fall to your workbench and now poke your eye out. So there I've pinched that off. I'm using my flat nose pliers to push that end nice and close to the wire there if it's sticking out at all. And you can feel that when you're done. See if you've got it all the way in. If it's hanging out too much, you might need to use a file. It just depends on how close you get that snipped. Okay, so now I want to just take my flat nose pliers and just apply a little bit of pressure to where those wraps are. And I'm going to bend this wire at a 90-degree angle. Okay, and I'll show that, see how that is on the camera. 90 degrees. Okay, now I have these cool pliers. They're stepped round pliers. And the difference between the round nose and these is that they don't get narrower as you move out. They're stepped. I like to make my ear wires on the biggest part of these. So I'm going to pinch like this and just roll around. When I get about halfway, I'm pushing that end forward. So I wind up with a shape like that. Okay, now you don't need to have those special pliers to do that. You could do the same thing with like a Sharpie pen, any kind of pen really. See that this is just your regular Bic. It makes a little ear wire shape. You don't need a special tool to do that. I have that one for making bails because I like to go around multiple times. And if you do that on your round nose plier, you wind up with a coil that shrinks or gets bigger depending on where you start. But the old Bic pen, that'll make a nice little ear wire. I typically cut this off right about here. Now here's where your flat nose or your flush cutters are important, which direction it's pointing, okay? You want the cut on your ear wire to be straight across. So you want to point your flush cutters in such a way that the cut you're getting that's pointed toward the ear wire is flat. You can see if I squeeze this here, I'm going to get a nice flat cut. Now if I put them this way, you're going to have a pointy ear wire that's going to scratch your ears. You're going to have to file that to make it nice. I don't like filing. So we're going to go this way and just give it a little snip. And there's your ear wire. Now you can also get a thing that's called a cup burr tool. They make these for Dremels, but I have one that's just a little handheld model. Now this has a little, let's see if I can point that. The inside is rounded and it's kind of a file in there. Now I take my ear wire, put it inside that cup burr and just twist a few times, and that does a little bit of filing on there. If you don't have one of these, it's not a big deal, but they're nice to have. They keep your ear wire from being all scratchy. Okay, so there we go, one ear wire. Now we need to make another one to match that. So I'll go back to my wire and pull out enough length that I can make another ear wire with it. Again, I'm putting the small bead on first, and then the red Swarovski, leaving, an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, pinching that right about midway on my round nose plier, rolling back. This is like the Harley grip, give it a little throttle. Okay, so you can see it's gone around once. I'm gonna reach in there, pinch it, and get a nice 90-degree bend on that. You want that circle sitting right on top of the wire. See how that's right on top of the wire? Like that. That's what you want. Now you come in with your flat nose pliers again and grab that little circle, and you're going to bend that around once. Now swing your beads down, both of them at the same time. There. And now I'm going to bend this wire around those 2 beads, and then I'm going to go around twice. Once, twice. Now I'm going to take my flush cutters again and go in there, and you can see how I've got them pointed, that little wire piece is going to fly up, so I'm going to put my finger over that to keep it from going anywhere and snip. Now I'll take my flat nose and I'll find the edge of that wire where it's sticking out a little bit, and I'll just pinch it. You got to be careful not to pinch where your beads are. I can't tell you how many of those beads I've broken off pinching in the wrong place. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now I'm going to grab it with the flat nose. Again, don't pinch those beads. Make a nice 90-degree bend. And this time I'll show you with a Bic pen. I just, I'm coming maybe ½ an inch forward from that 90-degree turn, and I'm just pushing that bead set back, and then I'm pulling the wire roll down and around that pen. Okay, and that's what you should wind up with. Ooh, let's see if I can make that focus, just like that. You can see I have a little wire sticking up there. I'm going to want to bend that back. So we will trim this off. Again, you want the flat side up, so you're getting a flat cut on your ear wire, and just snip. And I'll use my little cup burr on that one. I'm just putting the end in there and spinning that wood handle a little bit to file that down. Again, that's an optional step, just to make them a little nicer when they go in your ears. Okay, so we have new ear wires to put on the earrings. So we started this first one with a jump ring and added this little, machine-made ear wire. We're going to open up the jump ring and take that off and put on our custom one. So we spin the jump ring up to find where the seam is, and grab one side with a flat nose plier, and grab the other side with a flat nose plier, and just twist. Hardly throttle again. Pull it back. We're not opening the jump ring. We're not making the O of that jump ring wider. We're twisting it. Okay, so now we can slip that new ear wire onto the jump ring. Grab with the flat nose plier and just pull that back. Twist it again till it meets up nice. So you can see that has met up nicely. Now, the other thing I want to do is make sure that the earrings point the right direction. And I've noticed people's ears are different. My ears, I want them pointed this direction, so when they go in my ear, it hangs this way. So the other pair of earrings, I want the earring wire to go on the other direction, but we'll get there. So that's one. And I don't know where my jump ring is. Okay. Jump ring, flat nose plier on one side, flat nose on the other, twisting it open, adding the enameled component and the other ear wire, which is lost on my workbench. We did make two, right? Okay, well, pretend this one is the one we just made. Slip it on, close the jump ring. And here's where we want to make sure we have it the right direction. And we don't. It's the wrong way, so I have to take that off, turn it around. I'm gonna pause the game here and find the right ear wire and catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.